Now, that is one style of valve. This is called the universal style. And then we have the spring-loaded style. Well, the spring-loaded style works a little differently. This one you thread up and down with the opener. The spring-loaded style sits within a cavity of itself. Again, threaded base. We simply thread the riser onto this guy just the same. And when we talk about installation, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but you take a chain wrench, put a material, some kind of a lubricant on this, like Permatex, and then take a chain wrench on it and crank it down so that it doesn't leak. So you need something in the threads to lubricate the threads, to tighten it up, and also to seal off any leakage within them when you insert the valve onto the riser. Now, it's made out of two pieces. It has a cavity and then it has a top. And there is the seat that comes down and presses against the surface in here. It seats right into this surface. And it happens, now I got it upside down, it happens that you have to press on it and it pops up. Actually down, because it's going to be sitting like this. And so you have an opener that sits down over the top of this, and then you screw the handle of the opener down, and it has the threads in the handle in this case, and it drives down and it pushes that valve straight down, and then water comes up around it and into the valve that way. This is called a spring-loaded valve. They're a little safer because if for some reason the valve opener pops off of it, it just closes the valve instantly. But they cost like twice as much money. So that's one of the reasons they're not as popular in the industry. But it is a very safe way to operate. There have been people that have been killed operating a valve opener. They stand over the valve, put the valve opener on it, start cranking it. If the ring lock isn't attached correctly, all of a sudden whatever the pressure in the line is, might be 80 psi, might be 100 psi in that line. They got their face over it, blows that valve opener right up and hits them right in the face. First place they get hit, I mean, that's right where your head is when you're turning something like that, is right over the top of it. And all of a sudden you've just been disfigured. You might even lose your head over the deal. There have been people killed that way. So you have to be a little smart when you're operating these things. Make sure you get that ring lock on correctly. Now the good news is with this spring-loaded style, if that happens, all it does is pop up and it instantly seals itself. So it's only going to hop off of the foundation of the valve instead of continuing to blow right up into your face. So this becomes kind of a safer valve. This also allows for air to come into the system so that you never pull a vacuum on the line, because anytime you start to create a vacuum on the line, it will find a negative pressure and it'll suck open and you'll pull air into the line and it'll break the vacuum. So that's another reason why this is maybe a little bit better valve for operational safety. You don't have to worry about air vents down through your line. So the universal and the spring-loaded, two different styles of mainline valves that we'll see used for handline and wheel line. We get into solid set, then we have a whole plethora of other kinds of valves. We can go into gate valves, ball valves, butterfly valves, all kinds of electrically operated globe and angle style valves. We get into a whole myriad of different options when we get into solid set. Or in turf, same kind of deal as solid set. And really when we think about it, when we get into the idea of turf and solid set, they're almost identical. It's just a different sprinkler that we use out on the end of the pipe, and a different way we attach the sprinkler. With turf, we're always putting it right on the ground, right at ground level, whereas in ag, usually we want it a certain height above the ground. So we put on some kind of a riser. So that's valves. Any question on the valves?